name is Jenny Guru. I'm a registered dietitian with the YMCA of Metropolitan Dallas. We are here at a local sustainable grocery store called Sprouts. We're going to be doing a virtual grocery store tour with all of you today, so let's get started. Before we go into the grocery store to actually start shopping, I want you to be sure, number one, you come with a full stomach. So eat a well-balanced meal so that you are reducing your temptations to grabbing things you may not need. Number two, make sure you bring a grocery list with you so you have a game plan of what foods to consume, what foods to buy, what foods you don't need, so you're not tempted to buy things that you don't usually want. Let's get started. We're here at the bread aisle. The first thing you want to look for is whole. The word whole means that the bran is still intact, therefore there's more fiber. The first ingredient listed should say the word whole somewhere on the ingredient list, and when you're looking at fiber, you want to make sure that it's at least 3 grams or more per serving. We're in deli meats right now. One thing to note about deli meats, we know that's a highly processed type of food, so you want to be sure that you are choosing low sodium preserved types of foods like processed meats. One thing to consider as well is some healthier options like turkey, chicken, turkey bacon, and some hams. And lastly, choosing no preservatives like no nitrates is going to be helpful as well. Cheese is an excellent source of protein and calcium. You want to be sure to look for reduced sodium cheeses, and you want to make sure that you are paying attention to how much you're consuming, because we know that cheese has a large amount of fat inside, so to make sure you're reducing the fat is paying attention to the portion sizes. One thing to note is 1.5 ounces, the size of your index finger, is usually the portion size for cheese. All right, we are at the meat aisle. We're here with the red meats. You really want to make sure you're choosing less red meat and more of the white meat, but if you do choose red meats like beef or pork, you want to be sure that you're choosing 90% or leaner, okay? We're gonna put that down here and we're gonna work our way over to what I typically eat, which is going to be poultry or chicken or turkey, and you want to make sure you're choosing that most of the time. If you do choose fish, which is recommended at 2 times per week, you want to choose things that have high omega-3 fats like sardines and salmon and tuna. Okay, and there's also healthier ways to make sure you're cooking in a better way, so things like grilling, baking, and using the air fryer to use that less of the oil. And then lastly, if you want to choose plant-based proteins, which is a great way of reducing saturated fat, things like beans, nuts and seeds, tofu are all really great sources as well. We're in the produce section, lots of colors, lots of variety here, and that's what you should be doing in your diet throughout the week, is being sure to add a lot of different kinds of colors because of the different phytonutrients that attaches to each color. And also lots of fiber going on here in fruits and vegetables. And it's okay to have fresh, frozen, and canned fruits and vegetables. We're at the dairy section. You can see there's a variety of different kinds of milks to choose from. You want to choose the low-fat dairy milks, so you have the 1% or the 2%, and making sure you're having less of the red cap, which is the whole milk. Other considerations are things like plant-based milks. This is reducing the saturated fat content, so things like almond milk, oat milk, coconut milk, but you want to make sure that you're choosing unsweetened or low sweetened plant-based milks. And if you're going for butter, butter is always better, and choosing regular butter is fine, but also choosing things again to reduce that saturated fat and increasing the unsaturated fat by choosing things with canola oil and olive oil as well. We're here at the frozen section. You can see there's so many options nowadays with convenient products, and so when you are at the frozen section, you want to be sure you're looking at reducing the fat content and the sodium content, because that's the 2 things that make everything taste really well. You also want to try and challenge yourself by making your foods at home and freezing it yourself, so you don't have to purchase a lot of these pre-made packaged items. We're We're here in the snack aisle, one of my favorite aisles. We want to make sure though when we come to the grocery store we follow the perimeter and we don't spend a lot of time hanging out in the snack aisle, but of course we like a good snack, who doesn't? So here are some options. For tortilla chips, you want to choose things that are going to be grain-free or corn, like root vegetables. And then you want to choose baked rather than fried. Other options are going to be something like a Skinny Pop popcorn, has a lot of fiber inside of it, nuts and seeds. That's going to be less sodium or no added sodium. The key for snacks is high fiber, no added sugar, and low sodium. Enjoy! When you're choosing beverages, you really want to make sure you're choosing water. Water is the best choice for hydration. You can spruce it up with some lime, mint, lemons, whatever you need to make it taste a little bit more interesting. For some of us, we do like having sparkling water as well. Some of these sparkling waters though, you have to be really careful. Like this one in particular has about 26 grams of added sugar per serving, but the same brand will have something that's closer to about 6 grams. So you really do want to read the nutrition label to get closer to at least 0 or 1 gram of added sugar. Again, water is the best choice. We are here in the bulk area. It's really great when you can buy things in bulk to save some money. And so I typically like to buy some of my beans, some of my rice, and you want to make sure too that you are choosing things that have more whole grains in it. So less of the white rice if you can, and more of the whole grains. Things like farro, amaranth, wild rice, and things of that nature. Also, when you are purchasing things like seasoning, you want to try to reduce the sodium and increase your seasoning by having things like garlic and herbs just to increase some of that flavoring without having some of the sodium. Thanks so much for joining me on this virtual tour. I hope you learned something new with me here at Sprouts. Again, I'm Jenny Guru, a registered dietitian with the YMCA of Metropolitan Dallas, and I hope to see you next time.